What's up, YouTube? Erod212 here with another video. So this past weekend, it was Little Giants comic show up in New Hampshire. What were the pros and cons of this show? All right, so drove 5 hours to New Hampshire to go to Little Giants. Now, last year I went to the show and it was amazing. So many members of the community were out there, and we just had a blast the day before at the hotel and also in the show. There were amazing books to be found there, and so absolutely had to go back this year. Get up there. And before we get up there had been some issues within the community with just representation at this show that, kind of were putting a damper. So a lot of members from the community did not go up. And that made it different. The dynamic was totally different. Although we did have some great guys up there, and it was amazing meeting people like Jim Church and running into Chinmo. And big shout out to 3 Men in the Basement. They had a booth set up there. Those guys were as gracious as it gets. You know what? Went out to dinner with Otto and Roger and Dave Levesque and just had a great time. And Chinmo just bullshitting and, doing what we do in this comic book community. And Otto's booth was home base. And you know what? Like I said, shout out to those guys. They couldn't be more gracious to everybody there. Ran into PJ Morris, ran into Morbius over there. And like I said, my man Jim Church, first time meeting him. Mellow Fellow, you guys know CBSI Ben. He had a booth set up there. And it was just great shooting the shit with him and Phil Lee from Vintage Comics and Toys. So there were members of the community that were there, but a lot of the guys that we all are friends with and everybody in the community looks forward to meeting were not there. And that put a damper to it. Now, the show is a good show. I'm not going to say it's not. I'd be lying. But was it the same show as it was last time? No. New York Warriors weren't there. The Principal Defects wasn't there. My boy Josh Graff was not there. Man from Beantown was not there. Emerald Knight was not there. So guys that are staples in the community just weren't at this show for one reason or another. And that changed the dynamic of the show. It wasn't as fun. Did I find some books? Absolutely. But I'm going to find books wherever I go. That's the way I feel. Now, was the price point affordable to get into the show? Yes. But remember, I'm paying for a hotel. I'm paying for guests to drive up 5 hours. So 50-50 if I would return next year just because of that. Got great deals, and everybody treated me like a gentleman there. So there's no complaints on anything of that. I'll show you a little bit of the show floor. I didn't record as much because I was interacting with a lot of people and just doing some shopping. It's a one-day show, and you got to get out to lunch and everything like that. But I will show you the books after this.
Signed? Dated to them. That's
Thanks for all the help.
Yeah, no worries. Feel free to swing by with any questions.
You know what? I feel like I want to take my fans to just film a little bit.
Yeah.
Do we not? Do we not? Yeah, but still. Let's say he comes down 200, right there.
Right.
He's still making 200 over GPA.
If you try to sell, you'd be lucky if you get 900.
Yeah, that's the whole thing. I'm not Gary, so I'm stuck with it.
So you guys were in Rhode Island or?
So that's what, don't pull it up.
Okay.
You gotta leave it in there for like, I'd say 4 to 6 hours.
Oh, so let it cool down.
Yeah.
Okay.
It'll
Okay.
press, yep. So it kind of like works. You don't want to use a lot of pressure. You want to use the heat, let the heat do the work, but you want to have it like, try to get it flat. Like I'm not
All right, so that's what I recorded. Now there was some really big books there that you see those at the big cons, and for this show to have it, it's pretty nice. So, but those are not books that people are going to be buying. The books that I'm looking for. Like last year, I went there and Josh Grab found the Stan Lee tribute book, which is a book. It's a white whale. It was only given out at the Beacon Theater or whatever theater it was presented at as a tribute to Stan Lee to people in attendance. And there were 2 copies there. Josh got one, and I was able to get one. There were none of those books there this time, And some of the vendors were different vendors from the last time. I didn't see Harley E there. He usually has a massive wall. But like J&S was set up there. Who else was set up there? Zaps Comics was set up there. 3 Men in the Basement's guy Joe had a booth there. So, there were some good books there. Definitely some good books to be had. I walked away happy and made a deal and picked up probably 2 of the best books I picked up out in the parking lot in the middle of the show. So let's start taking a look. Walked in and picked these up right off the bat. Amazing Spider-Man number 135, second appearance of the Punisher, and Daredevil 168, first appearance of Elektra. Both mid-grade copies. So not high grade, but nice books to have in the collection or in the placement. If you do not own these books, this is the way you want to start off with these books and build your way up. And then shout out again to my man Chinmo. He was operating out of the 3 Men's booth, and he had a couple short boxes there of stuff that he was selling. And dude gave me 30% off a cover, off the sticker price. You give me 30%, I'm buying books from you every time, and not crap books. We have that. We got that. And all in real nice condition. We got that. And that. So, again, shout out to Chinmo, member of the community. And that's what happens when you have guys from the community there. That's kind of like why the Three Men in the Basement's comic swap is a good deal, because you've got people from the community just hanging out. It's just community members with community members, and it's a good time. Matter of fact, if you're still available in May, you're not doing anything, make sure you stop at the swap, because it's just gonna be a hell of a time. Just people from the community hanging out. There's gonna be books being sold. For the most part, it's a lot of socializing, talking, interacting, having a good time. Also, King Kong 3 is coming, and that's, I believe, September 17th. If you have not gone to a show, for me, right now, that's the best comic book only show on the East Coast. I might be biased because I'm friends with some of the guys there, but anybody who's been to the show will tell you it's a fantastic show. So 2 shows for you guys to check out that are coming up in the near future. Now, continued shopping and came across these. Really nice copy of Star Wars Clone Wars Adventures #1. First appearance of General Grievous. Amazing Spider-Man. What number is this? Number 9 from the Spider-Verse. And this is the second appearance of Spider-Gwen. Underrated book that people pass up all the time. So this there, couldn't leave it there. Sam Alexander's first solo title. And this is the second printing on this book. So you know how we are with second printings nowadays. You can get a second print on that for an affordable price. Scoop it up. Sam Alexander shows up in the MCU, which I believe he is. That book is going to go up. And then a book that I had seen but never out in the wild, and that's Champions #1. But this is the Golden Apple variant. And this was really affordable. It's a David Mack cover of Kamala Khan as Miss Marvel. Really nice cover. And then CBSI Ben Mellow Fellow was selling some bangers there. He had these foils from Mexico. And the first one I picked up was that one there. It's a giant size XMen #1, but it's from Mexico, and they're all foils. Really, really nice. This is gorgeous. One of these is going to CGC. Amazing Spider-Man 316, a Mexican foil on that. Another copy of that 316, and then another Scorcher right there is Amazing Spider-Man with 300. And I picked up another copy of that. Was walking around, and guy didn't have really much, but he did have this in his booth for $10. I'll take Spider-Gwen #1, $10 every single day. I went by another booth, and they had this up for $50. I found this for a steal, what I think is a steal at $10. Picked this up for what I think is a steal. Tomb of Dracula #2, second appearance of Dracula. I got this for $12. And Tomb of Dracula #18. I believe that's the first Werewolf by Night and Dracula. So you know how those team-ups and mashups all fall well. First time characters meet each other. This is a nice book, and it's in really good shape too. So talk about in good shape. I couldn't pass this up. Just a beautiful copy of Fantastic Four #112, right? And that's that Thing versus Hulk. Jack Kirby, Joe Sinnott. That's not Kirby, because Kirby leaves after 101. If anybody knows the artist on this, let me know. But I know Sinnott does the inking on it. And it might be Romita, but it is gorgeous. And I think it only has like one tick on the spine. So for all black cover, this thing presents really well. High grade. Now, probably 2 of the finds of the day. My son and I were digging through some boxes. Vendor had just boxes, no wall. A lot of $2 books going through, but he had a couple boxes that were priced out. So going through, and I know my man UniX talks about this book all the time, and other people in the community talk about this book, and it was in a bit. So that's New Agents of Atlas, The War of Realms, #2, first appearance of Swordmaster, but this is the second print. So definitely a good book to grab. And then this was in a bit. I actually showed it to the guy, and he's like, I don't know if that's even mine. It might be somebody else's box. They started talking to the other seller. The guy's like, no, that's yours. He goes, I brought some books that I hadn't priced out. This had a price on it, but he gave me a great deal on it. Fantastic deal on it. 20%, over 20% off. And I picked up a low grade, probably he has it at like a 3540. It does have a stain right there. And a little bit of issue on the bottom. But man, this is probably one of my favorite, and this is John Romita Sr.'s first artwork as far as covers are concerned for Amazing Spider-Man number 39. And then the last bunch of books here. Great bundle deal I got on there. Shout out to my man Everett Otto for this. But I picked up Nova number 4. That's that great homage cover there. Picked up First Deacon Frost. First appearance of the Dazzler. Good book, underrated book at this point. In these Bronze Age, this is one right now that's starting to get up a little heat. It's the first appearance of an X-Men character that really hasn't been utilized too much in a long time, and picking up a little bit of heat. Picked this up there because it had some issues that need to be worked on. A nice copy of Amazing Spider-Man number 28, first appearance of the Molten Man. They probably like in a VG plus, so probably like a 4.5 to 5.0 maybe, if that. Real clean copy of Catwoman number 51, that classic, iconic Adam Hughes cover. Anytime I can get this for an affordable price, I will take this book. Entry level, but really nice copy of Fantastic Four Annual number 2, probably like a 2.5. And then a book that it was the book I was hunting for there. I usually try when I go to the show to pick out a book. My son and I had discussed it, and this is a book that we both believe in. I think it has a lot of upside to it. And I talked about this recently on the back 9, and that's Strange Tales Annual number 2. This is the 4th appearance of Spider-Man, and it is the first time that the Human Torch and Spider-Man team up. We both know that Fantastic Four are coming to the MCU. What better way to make a buddy, especially now that Ned Leeds is gone for Spidey while he's in his college years, than the Human Torch. So this could possibly be something that we do see on the MCU. A good book to pick up. And now the last 2 books. So story time. Ran into a guy who I had purchased some books from at Terrificon. Josh, you remember him. We bought all those books from the guy at his small table on Saturday. And just awesome dude. Always talk to him whenever I see him at a show. Run into him a bunch of shows now. He's come to King Con and everything else. He's walking out the parking lot. I said, hey, what are you selling? Because he's always got books up. And he goes, I got big books. And I said, well, let me see what you got. And sure as shit, he had some big books. When I'm talking big books, he had an ASM 129 on him. Trying to even think what else he had. The one that he had that was, the cover was dripping. He had Crow number 1, I believe it was. And there was something else he had. I'm drawing a blank right now, but he had some really, really nice books. And he had, he had 2 copies of Young Avengers number 1, but they weren't 9/8. He had 2 copies of Invincible Iron Man number 9. But I've had a couple of copies of that, so I didn't want to really stack that book to that degree. But he did have this there. He had Spawn number. What's the number on this? 174, first Gunslinger Spawn. And he gave me a deal where I couldn't pass it up. And he had 2 copies. So I picked up 2 copies of Gunslinger Spawn, first appearance at the show, outside in a parking lot. Doesn't get much better than that. So, pros and cons of the show. Good show. Missed a lot of guys in the community. Just didn't have the same feel, didn't have the same vibe. But it is what it is. That's the way cookie crumbles. We'll have some bigger shows right now. Like I said, we've got a swap coming up. We've got another con coming up. And there might be a few more other cons that probably will show up where guys from the community are going to be there also. So,